Hey guys, Roygo here and welcome back to another episode of Danganronpa. We are here where I last left off. We got the third class trial. We're beginning this today. Now, first things first, before this video starts, just like the last video, this is probably going to be a really long video because I'm just going to try to, unlike the last two trials, I'm going to try to put this entire trial in one video. And we're just going to see how that goes. So, yeah, we're just going to see how that goes. So, also, one thing I like to do real quick, because I like to just do this real quick, is just like a thought process. Here's what I'm just gonna say my opinion on this trial. In my opinion, it seems a little bit too easy. And by that, I mean, well, first things first, if you don't understand Danganronpa, normally, if there's a person that the game is making it seem like, oh, it's obviously this person murdered somebody, it's most likely that that person did not murder anybody. So that basically means Hiro's 100% innocent. There's no way this would actually be a 10-minute trial. So, that led me to be thinking, who else should I not trust? That's why Celeste is number 1 on my list. 1. She acting sus. First off, how is she? First, I kind of had to think about this off camera. 1, how is she the only one who saw this robot thing? 2, one thing I caught up on, how did she found out? If you remember back in like the dialogue when we first found Hifumi's body, she mentioned that Taka was already dead in like one of her sentences. How did she know? She never even saw Taka's body. Number 3, the motive is money. She's the ultimate gambler. There's too many connections here. There's like too many. I want to say this now because if I'm 100% correct later, it will look very good. So I just wanted to bring that up real quick. That's just my prediction. I personally think, actually, since I still don't understand with Hifumi, if I were to throw out like a random guess with what happened with how Hifumi's body was moved, is that he was still alive. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm just saying that because his glasses were cleaned. Like, who else? Why would you randomly clean this? Why would you kill somebody and then be like, I need to clean his glasses real quick? Like, I don't know why you would do that. So I'm assuming Hifumi was actually alive, and like him and Celeste were working together, and then like Celeste killed him, which is why we got 2 of the announcements. I don't know. That's what I'm thinking. Let's start. I haven't done the trial in a while, so hopefully I don't suck. I forgot Blue.
Begin with a basic explanation of the class trial.
I also forgot his voice acting. I don't even have to talk. This is awesome.
Votes will determine the results. If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate. Now then, to begin with,
we already know who did it.
Was that?
I forgot we're on this train of like, oh yeah, it's Hiro.
It was Hiro. He does not have an alibi for when the murders took place, and we found him in that suit. Don't try and deny it. You killed them.
I didn't. Someone knocked me out. I was asleep the whole time. I don't know anything about it.
Shut your murdering mouth, murderer!
Who are you calling a murderer?
I am sorry to say, Hiro, but we do have evidence, blueprints for the suit. Parts
I don't know about that.
were used to build it. And
Remember,
all of
different
it was
handwriting.
found in your room. You have to admit, the evidence is quite compelling. It points to you as having created the suit and wearing it while committing crime after crime.
How many times do I have to tell you? I don't know. I don't know.
Is Hiro really the killer, or for anything else, I have to make that clear. That's the one thing I for sure noticed in the last episode. The handwriting is like not even close to being the same. You cannot say that's Hiro. That's like completely different person.
You found in your room.
I forgot. I can shoot these. Frick, wrong button. Is it right click? It's right click. Oh, I missed. Oh, whoops. I missed it. I missed it. I missed what I just drew that. Whoops.
It's not true. It's a conspiracy.
Hiro, why? Why did you kill them?
No. Just
That's
hold on a
aimlessly shoot.
second.
Yeah, I missed it. I know. I saw it last second. Skip ahead a little bit. Skip ahead a little bit. Right there. Got it.
No, that's wrong.
No, shut up. Stop talking.
Are we sure Hiro really made those blueprints?
What do you mean?
Well, take a look at this. It's the note that Hiro wrote, asking everyone to meet up after Alter Ego The handwriting's obviously different, wouldn't you say? When you compare it to the blueprints.
There's no way you could think the same person made both of them.
Unless that person made it a point to disguise their handwriting.
No, the differences are bigger than that.
You also have to realize Hiro's an idiot. Do you think he'd actually think of disguising his handwriting?
Come on! I'm not smart enough to think
Thank
of
you,
trying
Hiro.
to change my handwriting anyway.
So Makoto,
Exactly what I just
are
said.
you saying you don't think Hiro's the culprit?
And he's not the only one. I think Hiro's innocent as well.
What? Then who was in that Robo-Justice suit? Is it like Hiro said? Was there really someone running around in a second suit?
The suspicious individual hidden within the suit. Go ahead, Makoto. Tell them who it was.
Another freaking always. Byakuya being like, I know the answer. Makoto, you tell him. You do it. I don't want to do it. And of course he passes off to me.
Who was in the Robo-Justice suit?
This individual question must have been it was Hiro.
I got it!
If he was in the
Other
suit,
than
he's just not
Hiro,
the killer.
I can't think of anyone else it could have been. Obviously, he was the one in that particular suit. And we never found any kind of second suit.
What if the what if the killer never even used the suit? What if the suit was just like a decoy? Just to make us be like, oh, we have to go after the robot. Because we
Then
never
there
saw
can
the
be no
robot running
doubt.
around.
Hiro
We only
is
saw it in the
prime
picture.
Suspect.
That doesn't make any sense. You just said Hiro didn't do it.
It makes perfect sense. Hiro was the suspicious individual in the suit, but he's not the culprit.
So what you're saying is...
That's right. The culprit in this case has nothing to do with being in the Robo-Justice suit.
What? Now that's a bold assumption. And what reason do you have to make such a statement? You do have a reason, yes?
Of course. But before we get to that, there's something else we need to clarify first. So let's get that out of the way.
Hey, stop trying to boss us around.
All things have a proper order.
So what is it? What needs to be clarified?
We must clarify the method of transportation for Taka's lifeless body. It would seem that his corpse was moved
guess he's gonna
using
pass it right
certain
back to me if he does
particular
not know the
items.
answer.
Makoto, can
I
you
would
tell
just-
us what they were?
I just said that. I knew it. I think I was using to move Taka's body. It was freaking. Where is it? Where is it? There it is.
I got it!
I found it. Still one more thing. I think I was using to move Taka's body. Oh, okay. Let me find. There it is. I found it.
I got it!
I did it.
They were a dolly and a tarp, right?
What about the attitude?
So
Why is he
let's
such a
see
bitch?
if I can explain.
He doesn't say anything. He doesn't answer anything. He's
Taka's
passing
body
to me.
disappeared from the equipment room. And then we rediscovered it in the repository. And when we found it for the second time, it was
Keep skipping ahead. by
it was the
accident.
same tarp that up until then was stored in the equipment room. So the killer must have seen it there and decided to use it when they moved Taka's body. That way, they wouldn't leave any bloodstains while they were moving it.
Okay, that explains the tarp. And the dolly?
Same thing. I'm sure the dolly was in the equipment room when we first found Taka's body there.
I'm sure it was. And by that, I mean here's a clear picture of it being right there.
But when the body disappeared, so did the dolly. Later, when Taka's body reappeared in the repository, so did the dolly.
In other words, you think they used the dolly to move the body. Am I right? But are you sure you are not mistaken?
Huh?
Are you absolutely positive the dolly was in the equipment room when we found Taka's body? That dolly was made specifically for moving large objects between the repository and the art room. It would be very strange indeed to discover it had made its way to the equipment room. Is it not possible that it was in the repository all along, and you simply didn't realize it?
She's raised an objection. How do you respond?
There is no shame in being wrong. Nobody expects much from you anyway. We have all accepted the fact that you rarely understand what is going on around you.
There's a bloody tire track in the blood. And there's a clear blood stain in the wheel. This is chapter 3. How has no one caught up to this? And she's calling me useless, yet she's just not looking at the clear tire track. Okay, it has to be Celeste. Like, she can't be that stupid to where she doesn't see the clear tire track in the blood, along with the clear blood stain on the wheel of the dolly. I'm just saying. She's just further proving my point that she's the killer. I've never had anyone sound so nice while being so mean. Yeah, I'll make sure to beat her up if she doesn't get executed later. I can change her, or maybe I can change her mind. If I can just explain to them why the dolly must have been moved from the equipment room to the repository. Bullet time. I gotta do a bullet time battle for this? Reload it. Oh, more. Next bullet time, we're gonna add more green at the bottom of the screen. Your ammo count. So now there wasn't a limit. Looking at pressing those mountains won't be enough. It's gonna cost 1 bullet to destroy a remark. Okay, how do I reload? How do I tab key? Alright. Now I gotta freaking reload. I thought I said infinite bullets. I want an infinite ammo. Why do I gotta do a bullet time battle for this? This is like, literally look at the ground. There's a tire mark. Good job, you figured it out.
I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. Away with you. You miserable wretch.
Thankfully, this part of the game is really easy, so it shouldn't be difficult.
You are a fool. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst, you miserable wretch. You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool.
I see what you're doing now. The second I say it's super easy, you then
Lies will get
freaking
you nowhere. Do your
base.
worst.
Okay, yeah, I have to use this. All right.
You
Oh god.
miserable wretch.
Hit it. There we go. I did it.
I
There we go.
cannot agree.
This should prove it.
Of course, the second I freaking say this is so easy, the game's like, oh really now? You think it's easy? All right.
If you're asking for proof that the dolly moved, I have it right here.
If you're asking for proof, here's a suggestion. Use your eyeballs. If you were to actually use something called your eyes, you could look at the ground and see the tire marks.
When I found the dolly in the repository,
Or the blood stain on the
one
wheel.
of the wheels had a blood stain on it. There was a pool of blood in the equipment room with a tire mark in it that matched the dolly wheel's tread. The killer probably rolled the dolly through the blood on accident as they wheeled the body out of the room, and as the blood dried on the tire, they moved the body into the repository. So there's my proof that the dolly was used to move Taka's body.
I shouldn't have had to say this. It should have been like an obvious, oh yeah, dolly was moved. All right, let's move on. Does Celeste really hate me that much?
Well, anyway,
I know it's
that
that
was just
she's the
something
killer
we
and
had
you're
to
trying
get out of the way.
get her killed.
Let's get back to the main subject.
Yeah, the subject of how Robo Justice didn't do it. Because if it's not a killer robot, then what kind of robot is it?
I'm not sure that
First of all,
really
it's not even a
matters.
robot. It's made of cardboard. Do you not remember the cardboard that was in Hero's room? It's not even metal.
I'd be happy to explain why the occupant of the suit couldn't possibly be the killer.
Let me guess, you're gonna pass it to me.
If you look back on how
At
the body
any
was
moment.
transported, it will become immediately obvious.
Look at how the body was moved. It would become clear the person in the suit couldn't have done it. What do you mean by that? Probably because you can't really see that well, I guess. Because the dolly. Oh yeah, that's right. The dolly you have to like bend over and push it. You can't really bend with the robot justice suit. It's more of like a
As we know,
kinda
Taka was
lean.
killed
Can't really
in the
bend much.
equipment room. And from there, the body was moved to the repository, correct?
Yeah, the culprit wrapped the body in the tarp, then loaded it onto the dolly and wheeled it off, right?
Now, keep in mind that the dolly doesn't have a handle.
Well, yeah, but even without a handle, all you'd have to do is bend over.
There we go.
No, that's wrong.
Keep in mind, that sentence came from the person who literally tried on the suit and was like, oh yeah, you
Absolutely
can't really
right.
bend
You
over in
could
this
push
thing.
a dolly without a handle if you stoop down low.
Like, Hino was the one who said, oh yeah, you can't really bend over that much in the suit. You can't really see where you're walking in this thing. You know, she's like, oh yeah, this works fine.
But if you were wearing that
perfect.
suit, do you think you could actually get into a position like that?
I feel like every single character in this game suffers from like freaking dementia or like memory loss. Because they can't remember anything that happens. If something clearly obvious happens, it's like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Oh yeah, let's bring it up again.
Think back to what you said when we were all checking out the suit.
Yeah,
together.
what
Remember?
you said. How do you not remember this? Like, I don't get it. There has to be some kind of memory loss in these
When you're
people.
in that suit, not only can you not see your feet, but you can't even bend at the waist. Am I right about that?
Now that you mention it, yeah.
It seems Seems like it'd be awfully hard to push that dolly if you couldn't bend over.
Well, what's to stop you from simply pushing the dolly with your feet?
When you can't even see your feet? You really think someone could kick the dolly all that way?
Yeah, it'd be totally impossible. Not that I can say for sure myself.
On top of that, if you were wearing such a rigid, cumbersome suit, it's very unlikely you would have the dexterity to go about wrapping the body in a tarp.
Well, I mean, isn't that just a matter of taking off the suit when you're ready to move the body?
No chance the costume you can take off them easily because you cannot take it off by yourself. Why does nobody remember
I don't think
these?
taking off
Why
the
does nobody
suit was
remember
an
anything?
option. If you remember,
This trial's gonna be way easier than I thought it was.
True.
I really feel it's
Seems
gonna be way
impossible
easier
to
than I
put
thought
the
it was.
suit on or take it off without help.
Then
Because during the last investigation, I was lost before it ends, but now I
Hero
feel
wasn't
like it's
just
so
making
easy.
it up.
Of course I wasn't making it up.
if he could have gotten it off by himself, I don't think he would have let us see him wearing it. Showing up in the suit was basically an invitation for everyone to suspect it.
Yeah, that's right.
So, it's really, really true that Robo Justice.
Also, the
couldn't
fact that
remove
if you dressed up in that suit and went around murdering each other, we found him sleeping in the locker. You really think you're gonna not only stay in the suit, but go take a nap? No. If you just commit a murder in the suit that you're still wearing, you take it off, hide it, pretend you never had it on, not keep it on and take a nap.
To be clear, whoever did move the body
Like, he's
couldn't have been
clearly,
Hero
like,
in the
drugged at
robot
some point.
suit, correct?
No, wait. Just a second, if you please. Have you forgotten about the picture that I took?
Let me see this again.
You all got a good look at it, did you not? The image of Hifumi being dragged away by Robo Justice?
Or is this Hifumi dragging Robo Justice away? I'm trying to think about this as if, like, okay, Hiro's not the killer. What if this is... Because I made that guess earlier that Hifumi and Celeste were working together. What if Hifumi is dragging the robot away? To, like, so they could, like, take him into the locker and stuff him in there so they can go murder people.
If whoever
I'm
was
just
in that
saying.
suit is not the culprit, how do you explain that?
I just did.
Besides, do you remember what the now deceased Hifumi said?
Oh, yeah. I kind of forgot about... Oh, no, he was... Oh, it's referring to this. Like, once again, they're working together. That's what that means. They're working
So
together.
long as those facts exist, the proper conclusion is beyond question.
No.
The individual inside the suit and the culprit are one and the same. It was Hiro, without a
Celeste, you're really not that good at this. You'd really think you'd have a better plan than what you have, but your plan is really bad.
Yeah, that's gotta be right.
Hold on a second.
It's still far too early to reach that conclusion. Besides, there's no hurry to decide who did it before we rush to a verdict. Shouldn't we explore every single possibility instead of seizing on one viewpoint? The truth is uncovered by analyzing things from every angle.
Perhaps, but where do we go from here?
Let's review this series of unfortunate events from the beginning. Maybe we'll uncover something new.
What a pain in the ass!
I don't disagree, but our lives are on the line. If this is what it takes, we have to do it.
Plus, maybe we'll get to find out where the heck Kyoko was when everything went down.
All right then. Let's take another look back at what happened. I suppose we could start with this morning. 4 of us gathered together in the dining hall. Makoto, Hina, Kyoko, and myself.
Honestly, looking back at it, Makoto, you probably should have just gone right back to bed and no one else was there.
We waited there for quite a while.
When
but
no one else
nobody
showed up, go back to bed.
So we went to look for everyone. That was around 8 a.m.
And as soon as we split up, Kyoko went missing.
Soon after that, Hina found Celeste in the rec room and quickly came to get Makoto and me.
It seems I was unconscious for about an hour after I was attacked by my mystery assailant. I know it was an hour because I remember being attacked a little after 7.
I know it was an hour because when I was not knocked out and I was still awake, I made sure to check the time. It looks like it's been an hour.
That was when we saw Celeste's picture and discovered that her assailant had been wearing a strange costume. As it turns out, it was Robo Justice. It also soon became clear that this same Robo Justice had abducted Hifumi. We were soon joined in our search by Byakuya and Toko, and then went on to find Hifumi in the library. He was injured, so we took him to the nurse's office and resumed our search for the suspect. But not long after leaving the nurse's office...
Alright, yeah, I saw the freaking robot. Yeah, once again, Celeste was the only one who
When
actually saw
Celeste
the
told
robot.
us that, we decided to split up and search the second floor. And soon after that,
I saw someone moving around on the 3rd floor, and I yelled out to everyone as soon as I did.
And I sure did. You totally saw somebody. You totally
and
did.
then
Yeah, also, yeah, Celeste, if you really think it's Hero, what do you explain this? How do you explain him dying now? Who killed him? Because clearly you just said the robot was on the 3rd floor, so who killed him then?
while Sakura, Byakuya, and Toko chased after the suspect. When we got back to the nurse's office, we found Hifumi, dead. And that's when we heard the body discovery announcement. I left Celeste and Hina there and headed back to the 3rd floor to let the others know what had happened.
Meanwhile, we had just discovered Taka's body in the equipment room. We must have found both bodies at almost exactly the same time.
That's important info.
Because we heard the same announcement not long after we discovered his body.
Okay, so here's what I'm saying. If Ifumi was still alive, that the first announcement we heard was for Taka, and when the bodies reappeared in the other room, the second one was for Hifumi. I'm just saying, if I was the main character in this trial would be over by now. This would be a 15-minute trial.
Then the 3 of us headed for the nurse's office. But right after we left the physics lab, we ran into Celeste, who'd arrived after us. And she told us something very surprising.
And once again, it's Celeste telling us something happened.
We rushed back to the nurse's office and saw that she was right.
Then we remembered we'd left Toko passed out in the equipment room. But when we got there, we discovered that now Taka's body had also gone missing. Next thing we knew, we were searching the school for 2 missing dead bodies. And after some time...
Celeste informed us that she'd found the bodies, and we all headed to the repository.
Once again, Celeste saying she found something. I think I see a pattern here.
Which is where we rediscovered the corpses.
I think that about covers it.
I see. The whole thing sounds exceptionally complicated. It certainly seems to me that these are not a simple series of connected events.
Okay, well, if that's true, then what?
Rather than a single series of events, I think we have to consider each murder a separate situation. And from there, we can uncover the contradictions surrounding all of them. Now then, let's get started, beginning with what happened to Taka.
Contradictions hidden what happened to Taka. In order to uncover the truth of this case, I have to find him no matter what. I think I know what happened to him. He got murdered. I got it. I figured it out. Okay, Monokuma files. Does that help?
So,
Do I gotta do a Oh, I forgot I can
Taka's
pick up. Oh, I might
I
have to pick
wonder
up
if
some.
he died before Hifumi. Or perhaps it was after?
I know I gotta pick up some.
We
freaking
already know
Monokuma files
what
does not
order
help.
they were killed in. Taka came last
What makes you say that?
because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3. While
You're just
Taka's
gonna
death came
trust the
from
weapons
swing
that
of
the
Justice
killer
Hammer 4.
used?
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
But that's so obvious that the killer placed that down as like to trick us. How do you get? Are you that gullible?
Regarding Taka's, I wonder if
I
he
gotta pick
died
up one of the
before
2, I
perhaps it
think.
was after.
I just don't know
We
which
already know
one.
what order they were killed
Let's
in.
do what order?
Taka
And
came
then let's
last.
start with this one.
Because of the numbering
Will that
of the
work?
Justice.
It did. All right, there we go.
Hold on. There's no reason to assume that the hammers were used in the same order as their numbers. If anything, that's just another way the killer tried to disguise their actions.
So you're saying the culprit wanted us to think the hammers were used in order, but in reality, Taka was killed before Hifumi? Okay then, let's see the proof.
Evidence that proves Taka was killed before Ifumi. He was looking at ways to what time he must have died. Or something that most really. His wristwatch. I remembered it. What, didn't his wristwatch say he died at like 6 in the morning? Right? Pretty soon say he died at like 6 a.m. I gotta freaking do that. Okay, give me an I. Give me an S. Okay, we got a wrist. Give me a W. W. Alright, give me an A. Give me there we go. Give me a C. Come on, give me a C. Give me an H. Come on, come on. Where's an H? Nope, that's not. Nope, that's not an H. There we go. Because if I remember correctly, Hifumi, I don't know what time Hifumi died. I just know Taka died at like 6 in the morning because that's what his wristwatch stopped at.
Taka's wristwatch. See? Look. It broke with the hands pointing just past 6 o'clock.
It must have gotten broken when he was attacked by the killer. Because as of last night...
It worked last night when he was on his like weird freaking Dragon Ball Z phase.
And before Celeste
Whoops,
was
kind of
attacked
skipped a
this
lot.
morning.
My bad.
That's right. Taka was killed before any of the other incidents took place.
That simple fact slipped past all of us. We made the wrong assumption about the order of events, all because of those justice hammers.
That's exactly why the culprit wrote the numbers on each hammer and had them increase in size. That way, when we saw how they were used in each incident, we'd easily make that wrong assumption.
Now, if Taka was killed around 6, then everyone's alibis for his murder go out the window. Because when he was killed, we hadn't met up in the dining hall yet.
That may be true in the case of Taka's murder, but all of our alibis still hold true for Hifumi's death.
That's right. With him, at least, we're all safe.
I don't know about that one.
When we heard Hifumi screaming, we were all together. Except for Hiro and Kyoko. Then we all ran down to the nurse's office, and that's where we found his body.
That's totally true. We're all in the clear.
Oh, I know. They must have recorded him screaming on a tape or something, then played it later on.
If that's true, where's the tape?
I don't know.
Don't just go making stuff up.
Anyway, we all have rock-solid alibis for
I will
when we
say
heard
this, Hiro's
Hifumi
not
scream.
helping his case. If anything, he's making it
Since all of us were
really
there
worse.
together, clearly none of us could have killed him.
And it does not stop there.
I think
It
in
was
Hiro's like,
also
I have the
when
answer.
we discovered
No
his
one
body had
killed him.
disappeared.
It was a suicide.
When his body
The whole
vanished
time.
from the nurse's office, Hina and I were in the bathroom together, while everyone else was in the equipment room, correct? And then there's the disappearance of Taka's body from the equipment room. At that time, we were all gathered together in the nurse's office because of Hifumi going missing.
Well, don't forget, I was passed out in the equipment room the whole time.
Wait, then what if Genocide Jill did it? She could have dragged Taka's body out of there right then.
Even if she could pull that off, there's no way she could have done the same with Hifumi's body. Because, as we just established, she was passed out in the equipment room when his body disappeared.
Besides, I didn't do either of them anyway.
In other words, it is impossible that any of us could have killed Hifumi or moved either of their body. On the other hand, Hiro and Kyoko had disappeared, so they most certainly could have done those things.
So what now, Kyoko?
For now, we can't get fixated on who did it, or we'll just keep going around in circles. So instead of who, I propose we start talking about how. In particular, I think we need to figure out how Hifumi's body got moved.
That's true. We searched everywhere, but we couldn't figure out how to explain his body disappearing. And according to what Celeste said,
Once again, according to something that Celeste figured
his
out.
body apparently
I think another
disappeared
pattern's
in 1
going on
minute
here.
her and Hina took their eyes off of it. But to carry that much weight from the first floor up to the third in that short amount of time?
Oh man, yeah. There's no way. It'd be impossible.
Well, what if I told you there was a way to make the impossible possible?
What? How?
If the dead body were to move itself.
Alright, I freaking called that.
The dead body moved on its own?
No, not another.
I don't think it has anything to do with the occult. I think what she's implying is we thought Hifumi was dead, but perhaps in reality he was still alive.
He was alive?
Are you saying Hifumi wasn't carried out of the nurse's office, but simply walked out on his own?
But I mean, we found his body. He was dead.
Perhaps he was simply playing dead.
That it isn't possible.
Yeah, Fumi is still alive. Is it really possible? It is. That is what the freaking glasses cleaner means. Alright, broken. How does this explain? Oh yeah,
I
guess the
saying
note?
that when
I
we
don't know.
first
I don't
found
know why I think
Hifumi
this
in the
was.
nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive.
I might need to pick up some.
It is
Frick, I missed.
impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really so sure about that? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Yeah, I think I need to pick. I might pick up. I'm sure Vice Girl was only made once. Alright.
Are you saying
What
that when
else
we first
is
there's
there?
a chance he was actually still?
No. It is impossible. Hifumi was
Okay,
dead.
let's
And you
skip
know
ahead.
that surely you heard the body discovery and Hifumi's dead body had been found.
There we go.
No, it's wrong.
Because remember, I don't know. I think it was Sakura who brought up that we found the two groups
Was
found
the
the dead
body
bodies at the
discovery
same time.
announcement that was made really intended for Hifumi?
Of course it was. The announcement played right after we discovered his body.
Maybe. But that was also the same time that Taka's body was found.
That's right. It wasn't long after finding his body that we heard the announcement.
So there's a good chance we've made a mistake in there somewhere. I think we've confused whether the announcement was for Hifumi or Taka.
First of all, if two bodies had been found, there really should have been two announcements.
Maybe Monokuma simply got lazy and rolled them together into one.
What do you say, Monokuma? Any comment?
Well, it's a very sensitive issue, so I can't go into too much detail. But what I can say about the body discovery announcement is that it's only broadcast when 3 or more people find a dead body for the first time.
That didn't answer our question, man. We're asking if you're a lazy bum.
No, actually, that was plenty. He said it's only broadcast when a body is discovered for the first time. Which means, even if we find the same body again later, he won't make the announcement again. If that's true, then why was the announcement made again later on?
Huh? Later on?
Exactly. We heard the body discovery announcement twice.
Second body discovery announcement. The first time it played was when we found each body in the nurse's office and equipment room. The second time was when the bodies were rediscovered.
I got it! We heard it a second time in the repository, when we rediscovered the two bodies.
I'm telling you, that's when we first saw
It seemed
Hifumi
weird
dead.
at the time, but it contradicts what Monokuma just told us, doesn't it?
Exactly. If we were actually rediscovering both bodies, the announcement shouldn't have played.
And in reality, when the two dead bodies were rediscovered, one of them was actually being discovered for the first time.
So when we found Hifumi the first time in the nurse's office, he wasn't actually dead yet, meaning he wasn't actually found dead until we came upon him in the repository.
And that's just part of it. There's one other thing that leads me to believe he was still alive in the nurse's office.
Oh, I know! Because he was super good at playing dead! Bada bing, bada boom!
That is the worst logic I have ever heard. But honestly, I do not think there's anything that can prove he was still alive.
Okay then, let's take another look at the events surrounding the discovery of his body. Then it should become clear whether he was really alive or not.
This whole thing is pointless.
Has to be proof that shows Hifumi was still alive. I have to find it and show it to everyone. Can I just bring it? Yes, so glass is clean. It's just the glass, Hifumi's glass. Yes. Alright. I don't know how nobody else noticed this other than me. I don't know how I'm the only person who saw this.
The first time we found Hifumi's body was in the nurse's
Also, I can't believe they
office.
give you 12 minutes for
And
this.
then,
That's
from the
way too
SOS
much
room in
time.
the bathroom, his body disappeared.
And the next time we saw his body, it was in the repository.
But when you compare his body before being moved and his body after being moved, other than the change in how it was positioned, there was no notable
Oh,
difference.
right there. Yep.
No, it's wrong. In fact, there was one clear difference between Hifumi in the nurse's office and the repository. His glasses. That fact alone proves that he was only playing dead in the beginning.
Perhaps you'd like to fill the rest of us in?
When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, his glasses were covered with blood. But when we found him again later in the repository, they were spotless. And I found the item he used to wipe them clean in the nurse's office trash can.
Haven't found the trash can in the nurse's office. Where is it? It is right there.
I got it! It was a glasses cleaning cloth featuring a certain cartoon mascot. One look at the bloodstain on the cloth should make things clear. This piece of cloth was used to wipe Hifumi's glasses clean, and the mascot on the cloth is the same one that's on the digital camera, right? And whose digital camera was it? Hifumi's, of course.
The character was Princess Piggles from Demon Angel Pretty Pudgy Princess, I think.
I highly doubt anyone but Hifumi would have brought something like this to school.
I see your point. And the only people here who wear glasses are...
I wouldn't be caught dead using a tacky piece of garbage like that.
A few tissues is all I need to keep my glasses clean.
Then there's no question. It belonged to Hifumi.
So what you're saying is... What exactly?
What I'm saying is, the blood on his glasses was wiped away using his own glasses cleaning cloth.
Even if that is true, it does not mean he wiped the blood off himself.
But who would benefit from a clean pair of glasses other than the glasses owner?
Oh, yes, you're just gonna murder him? They're like, you know what? Before I leave, let me clean his glasses for him real quick. I think you'll thank me later.
That's a good point.
And it must have been him, right?
So let's assume that Hifumi was still alive in the nurse's office. He pretends to be dead. Then when he's alone, he wipes his glasses clean so he can see. Then he stands up and walks out on his own 2 feet. And with that, the impossible task of moving his copious corpse becomes possible, wouldn't you say?
But then, if he was just pretending to be dead, what was with all that blood? Was it paint or something?
The fridge in the nurse's office contains packs of blood for emergencies. He probably used one of those.
He figured if he was gonna play dead, he should go all out. So he just dumped it everywhere. But he got crazy with it and had to wipe his glasses off when he was done. God, what an idiot.
And if Hifumi was still alive at that point, the disappearance of Taka's body is easily explained. It should be perfectly obvious who must have moved Taka's corpse.
Who moved Taka's body was Taka himself. He was also alive. No, it was Hifumi.
I got it! It could only have been Hifumi.
While we were all gathered in the nurse's office, he went to the equipment room and took Taka's body.
That also explains how the door to the repository got locked.
The door was locked?
Well, after the bodies disappeared, we all went looking for them, right? So me and Sakura headed for the repository. But when we got there, the door was locked.
And the repository door can only be locked from the inside. Which means, when Hina and Sakura got to the repository, someone was already inside.
And it could only have been Hifumi, who just finished stashing Taka's body there.
He convinced us all he was dead. And when he saw his chance, he dragged Taka's body to the repository. So, Hifumi wasn't just another victim in this case. He was one of the assailants.
But that means he took part in the murders.
I just can't believe it.
If you're having
Really,
trouble,
I can believe it.
would you like me to show you
That's
one
what this
more
whole
piece of
situation's
evidence?
about. Somebody murdering someone.
There's more?
Oh, absolutely. The single biggest fact pointing to his involvement has yet to be revealed. You know what I'm talking about, right, Makoto? The item he took off of Taka's lifeless body?
Yup, thing he stole from Taka. What could it be? It is the note.
I got it! You're talking about the note Hifumi had hidden away, aren't you?
Hidden note?
That's right. We found it stuffed in his pants.
What? In his pants?
Yes, his pants.
Okay, well, forget about the pants for now. Take a look at what the note says.
Yeah, found a hole. Maybe he used to escape. Markham can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. It's in the equipment room at 6 a.m.
That's the note I was telling you about. The one that told me where to go. Huh? Wait, this one's a little different. In my note it said, Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the rec room at 1 a.m.
I see. Then this note isn't the same one Hiro got.
It's not the same?
Just said it was different.
In other words, the killer
You
got in touch
just
with
said it
another
was
person
different.
besides
And now
Hiro.
you're like, wait a minute, it's different.
And that person could only have been... I got
Taka.
it! That's right! Taka! The killer used this note to draw out Taka and murder him.
Hello? Over here! Objection! Objection! I don't really understand what's going on, but Hifumi had that letter, right? So whoever wrote it wasn't drawing out TikTok, they were drawing out Huffy!
Just to be clear, TikTok is Taka and Huffy is Hifumi, right?
Ugh, yes! Why must you ruin it every time?
This jacket is seriously scary, but still. Don't let her get to me. Really? It's so dumb. Why are these the options? How about the piece of scrap that proves that it was ripped off? I guess the wristwatch?
It was intended for.
I guess that's the only thing I can think of. I shoot that.
Remember what the note said. What time did it say to meet?
6 a.m., I believe.
The time doesn't matter.
It really.
It has nothing to do with TikTok.
The time, like, really, man. That's like one of the most important things in the murder is the time. You'd think she'd understand that because she's a serial killer, but I guess
No,
not.
There absolutely is a connection.
What the hell are you talking about?
The note said to meet at 6 a.m., which is the same time Taka was murdered. We've already proven that using his wristwatch. But there's more. Look where the note says to meet. The equipment room, right?
Which is where Taka was killed. I see.
So, Taka was murdered at both the time and place written in the note. I think that should be plenty to show that this note was definitely meant for Taka.
Well, when you put it like that. No further objections.
Then someone used that note to trick Taka. Just the same as me. The culprit really is a cold-blooded monster. Telling people they found a way out.
But if they gave the note to Taka, what was Hifumi doing with it?
Stuffed down his pants, no less.
Most likely. Hifumi stole it off Taka's corpse after he died.
Huh? He stole it?
Where's your proof? Go ahead, show us.
Really? If we stole a note from Taka, alright, where is it? Where is it? There it is.
I got it! When I searched Taka's body, I saw that his lifeless hand was gripping a small scrap of paper. If I'm right about this, the sheet of paper this piece came from is... I knew it! It fits perfectly with the note we found hidden on Hifumi.
Then Taka's scrap and Hifumi's note.
Yup. They're from the same piece of paper.
Hifumi had the note meant for Taka, while Taka's corpse still grasped a small piece of that note. There's only one way to explain it.
Taka died clutching the note. Hifumi tried to free the note from his death grip, leaving behind only one small scrap. Did I get all that right?
That means Hifumi knew the note was important.
Exactly. Which proves that he was an accomplice in the murder.
Whoa, yeah. After seeing all this, Hifumi was super involved in this whole thing for sure. In fact, he was behind the whole thing. In fact, he's still alive!
Hero, please calm down. Hero, can you just be quiet for a little bit? You know, the adults are talking. The adults are talking. Can you please just, like, quiet it down?
Sorry, no. When we found him in the repository, Hifumi was truly and completely dead. The second body discovery announcement proves that.
So then, who killed Hifumi?
Whoever did is the mastermind. The true killer.
Yeah, no shit, Sherlock.
He was killed in the repository.
That's what we've been trying to
So
figure
he
out.
must have been killed not long after transporting Taka's body.
So, he must have been killed after Taka's body vanished, but before we found both bodies in the repository.
During that time, we'd all split up and were searching for Taka's missing body. In other words, during that time, none of us have alibis.
Wait, but me and Sakura were together.
Stop trying to steal the spotlight, you stupid walrus.
Who are you calling a walrus?
Anyway, when they were killed bothers me too. But there's something that's been bothering me even more.
And what might that be?
The weapon they used to kill Hifumi.
The weapon?
Yeah, because I mean, according to the Monokuma file, the way Taka and Hifumi were killed was almost the same. with them having similar fractures and all. But Justice Hammer 3 and 4 were still laying around in the nurse's office and equipment room, right? So if Hifumi was killed in the repository, the culprit would have had to grab one of the hammers, kill Hifumi, then put the hammer back where they found it. But wouldn't that be seriously risky for him?
I'm surprised. It seems there's some semblance of a brain knocking around that skull of yours after all.
Hell yeah, it's packed in there good and tight.
He's right, though. I don't understand it either. The Monokuma file makes it clear that they were killed using similar instruments. But if the hammers were already laying around those other rooms...
So the question is,
It's
how
definitely
did the
not
culprit
like
get
there
their
were like
hands on
9
either of
other
the
hammers in that repository.
Personally, I
There
have
totally
an opinion.
weren't like 9 other hammers in there.
So which hammer was used
That
to
could have all
attack
been
Celeste?
used. It's also definitely not like there was
Number
one
one and
hammer
number
that
two.
was also freshly cleaned for some reason.
Those were accounted for in other rooms too. And I don't think either one is big enough to kill someone.
Then
Is it not possible they used a different weapon?
I don't think it is possible. They were both killed with the same kind of thing, right?
So then, what was used to kill Hifumi?
The weapon that was actually used to kill Hifumi, the whole picture surrounding this case won't become clear until we figured it out. Somehow I have to find the truth. It's one of like the 9 hammers that were clearly still there. Also, in my opinion, if you're the killer, why not wash all of them? Because this is
What was
clearly
used to kill Hifumi?
points that one hammer
Was it
out. It's like, oh, this
Justice
one had to have been used.
Hammer
It's the only one that's washed.
Maybe
If this was me, I'm washing all of them to make it seem like they all were just like
Whatever
being
it
cleaned.
was, there's one thing we have to figure out. How was the culprit able to move around so freely with the weapon? How did nobody witness them carrying it?
Sounds like a Justice Hammer 5 is about to make its appearance! Check out murdergear.com/hammertime for more info!
Well, one thing seems pretty
That's a website.
clear. The murder weapon had to be one of the Justice Hammers.
Nope. Nope.
No,
Ain't right. I don't agree with that. Not at all.
the murder weapon wasn't a justice hammer at all. No, it was something completely different.
But, seriously? A different weapon?
Specifically, a hammer from the repository. Now, all the hammers in
Damn,
the
I keep skipping.
repository were
Keep
covered
like
in
kind
flecks
of
of
zoning
grit
out a little bit.
and
And I
grease.
keep skipping ahead by accident.
But for some reason, one of them had been scrubbed clean.
Huh?
And the reason it had been scrubbed clean was most likely because it was used to commit murder. If the hammer got covered in Hifumi's blood, of course they'd have to clean it off. I'd also like to point out that the repository has all kinds of hammers. Big ones, small ones, and even some flat mallet-like ones. I think whoever made the Justice Hammers used those as a basis for their design.
If that's true, that would explain the Monokuma file's note about the wounds being similar.
So Hifumi moved Taka's body to the repository, where someone then used a hammer to kill him.
Whoever did that is the true killer. The one Hifumi was working with. And the one who betrayed him.
Hold on a moment. I still think it's strange to assume someone was working together with him. The way the graduation rule works, there is no benefit to helping someone else carry out a murder. So the idea that anyone would work together like that is simply ludicrous. We talked about this, did we not?
We did talk about how there wouldn't be any reason for anyone to work together. That's what we thought at first, but... And also... Oh, I just had an idea. Hold on, can I pause this real quick? I'm gonna pause. I just thought something in my head. Hold on, wait. I want to bring this up. I don't want to waste time. What if Celeste was the one who stole Alter Ego, and since she knew Hifumi is like in love with that thing, she maybe like lied and said, "Oh, Taka had Alter Ego, kill him." So then Hifumi was like, "All right," killed him. He brought the body back, and that's when Celeste killed Hifumi. Like, what if she stole Alter Ego to get Hifumi to work with her? Maybe that's what's going on. Because clearly Hifumi is, like, in love with the computer. That might be something.
Even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive. Assuming the rule holds true, it is simply impossible that two people work together on this.
That That is how the rule was explained to us.
But that only really applies if there's one murder, right? In this case, however, there were 2 murders.
I think I got this, so stick to 2 murders. Let's get to the next thing. Wait for it, and then right there. Shoot it. There we go.
No, it's wrong. Since there were 2 murders, it's at least plausible that more than one person was involved.
What do you mean?
If there'd only been one murder, then yes, the idea of an accomplice isn't really worth considering. Naturally, if only one person can be saved per murder, an accomplice has no risk versus reward benefit.
Risk versus reward benefit?
The payoff for working together. The reward that balances out the risk of taking part in a scheme. There's no point in being someone's accomplice if there's no benefit to you. However, if there were some potential mutual reward for the risk, then cooperation becomes possible.
You're saying that 2 people could act as each other's accomplices to commit 2 separate murders.
I think that's what the true killer told Hifumi. They would each have an accomplice for their crime, and based on the case's events, Hifumi would have been the first one to act, murdering Taka. They made him carry out the first murder so he couldn't back out of helping them later on.
So in this case, there wasn't one single person committing multiple murders. Instead, each person killed someone, creating 2 separate incidents. And it only looked like one person because that's how the true killer designed it to look. A single suspicious individual, a similar weapon used in each crime, disappearing bodies. By creating one seamless set of circumstances, they made it look like one person was behind it all.
The mastermind picked their target and managed to convince him to go along with their plan. And then, to avoid the no accomplices rule, they simply killed their accomplice. Which, if true, means that betraying Hifumi was part of the plan from the very beginning.
That's just awful. How could anyone be so cruel?
You think so? I can't help but admire its cunning. Still, their choice of accomplice seems odd.
The effort made to convince us the 2 murders were the same. That was the main characteristic this time. Kyoko must have noticed that fact from the very beginning. But she said not to look at the series of connected events, but entirely separate incidents. Kyoko really is amazing, although when you think about it, she's almost too amazing. It's almost unnatural how good she is at this.
I understand how an accomplice could be involved.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if Kyoko wanted to, she could definitely murder someone and make us all think it's someone completely different. We'd be like, alright, you seem to know what's going on. I don't trust you.
That's problem numero uno right now.
True Kiro manipulated Fumi to carry out the number of actions and in the end murdered him. In debates up till now, the way that the case is unfolded, when you consider all of that, there's really only one person who seems to fit. Please tell me I was correct. I feel like there's no other option other than where is she, and there she is.
Here's my answer.
There we go. I was right.
It was Celeste.
So I'm the suspicious individual now, am I? I really do hate this kind of joke.
A joke? I wonder.
So what you are saying, then, is that I specifically chose to work together with Hifumi. The idea that I would choose to spend any amount of time interacting with him, that I would go within 10 feet of that shit from brains, that lazy, worthless, goddamn idiot! Pardonnez-moi.
Just to be clear, there is evidence to support it.
Like how you just had a random sudden freak out the second I immediately suspected you.
Is that so?
It is.
I thought you'd have a good
Throughout
poker
the
face for being a
investigation,
gambler,
there was
but guess
certain
not.
behavior that was common only to the 2 of you. Considering what we've learned so far, it only further proves that the 2 of you were working together.
What's that only Fumi and Celeste had in common? Encountering an individual. That's what I've been saying.
The behavior they had in common has to do with the suspicious individual in the suit, doesn't it? The only ones who ever actually saw Robo-Justice firsthand were Celeste and Hifumi.
Shush. The adults are talking now.
Sorry.
As he said, only Celeste and Hifumi ever
Well, you're
laid
too
eyes
nice.
on the
I would not
costumed
just
individual.
let him talk over me. I would beat him up.
If we accept that Hifumi was one of the culprits, we can't help but suspect what Celeste has said as well.
Are you saying everything they told us was a lie?
After taking Hifumi to the nurse's office, we all began our search for this individual. And not too long after that, do you remember what Celeste said?
Oh, there has to be someone going up the stairs.
We headed to the second floor specifically because of what she claimed to have seen. Next, to draw us all to the physics lab up on the third floor,
She let out a blood-curdling scream.
and when we'd all come to see what was wrong, what was it she said?
See, I'm telling you, this is obvious.
Once she'd done her job of getting us all up to the physics lab, it was time for her partner to...
It was to get us to divide into two groups. So that we would discover both bodies at the same time?
In fact, Celeste was precisely the one who proposed that we split up.
Again, something else that supposedly, who would have thought Celeste brought
If
up.
Celeste and Hifumi were working together, all those chance events suddenly become connected. And on top of that piercing cry of yours early on. That was to signal Hifumi, wasn't it? It was your way of telling him, we're on the third floor. Everything's going according to plan. Why else would you let out a scream that could have carried across the sea?
That scream could not have carried across the sea. That was like a, that was not a scream. That was like her regular, that was like a talk.
I just realized another strange thing. When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, who we now know was only pretending to be dead, Celeste, you were the first one to say he'd been murdered. You wanted to make sure we wouldn't have any doubt in our mind.
I don't believe it. Everything. The whole thing was one big act.
Hina, you were with Celeste when Hifumi's body disappeared, right?
Yeah. I was feeling kind of sick, so Celeste took me to the bathroom. Wait! Then that was...
She wasn't worried about you.
Yeah, she didn't give a
just
damn
saw a
about you.
chance to
She
help
just continued with her
Hifumi
plan.
sneak out of the nurse's office.
Each piece isn't much by itself, but start putting them together and the picture gets very ugly indeed. Wouldn't you agree, Celeste?
I have no idea what you mean.
Don't bother trying to deny it. You made
That's
one
your response.
fatal
We
mistake.
all frickin' accuse you for a murder, and we're like, yeah, what do you have to say, Celeste? And she just goes, I don't know. That's all you have to say. That's all. That's your rebuttal.
Oh, did I?
I didn't even catch it myself when you first said it. Looking back, I can say that one little slip-up was your undoing.
Hold on, is he referencing the thing I came up with as well? Hold on.
What are you talking about?
If this is what I think it is, what she said after we first found Hifumi's
I'm
body in the
talking
nurse's
about
room.
what you said after Hifumi's body disappeared and we returned to the nurse's office.
Yep. So decide, yeah, we're all gonna die right here. Just like those guys died. Hello, you never saw Taka's body. You never saw his body. How did you know he was dead?
But I don't understand what's so strange about it.
Then pay attention. Sakura, Toko, and I were first to discover Taka's body in the equipment room. Then Makoto showed up and told us Hifumi had been killed. So Sakura and I left with Makoto. Once we were in the hall, we ran into Celeste, and the four of us headed to the nurse's office. Now, the entire time we were together, none of us said anything about Taka being dead. Think about it. Celeste's comment doesn't make sense. It was completely out of place.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about. Although I don't really get what it means.
You hear that, Celeste? Everyone's having some trouble understanding. Could you repeat what you said? If you're really not the culprit, you shouldn't have any problem repeating it, right?
Like I said, Celeste's comment doesn't make sense. What is he alluding to? I know what he's alluding to. I brought it up earlier. I probably have to pick up some. Monica Mafala 3 has nothing to do with this.
All I said was, they must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused. They must be positively elated. We are all going to die here. We are going to die, just like those guys died. And that is all I said.
And that's all it takes to finish this. It's obvious, isn't it? What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
Take that. And let's skip ahead. Hold on, skip ahead, skip ahead, skip ahead.
They must really enjoying the sight of us. They must be. We are all going
Die
to
and there we go.
No, it's wrong.
Like, once again, she never heard anybody say Taka was dead. She never saw Taka's body. How did
That's
she know
right.
Taka was dead?
There's no reason Celeste should have said, just like those guys died. When she said that, none of us had told her Taka was dead.
Exactly. And we didn't run into her until after we were all out in the hall. So there was never any chance for her to have seen his body in the equipment room for herself.
So how did you know, Celeste? How did you know more than one person had been killed? And how did you know they were both guys? Because Kyoko had also disappeared, right? So she could have been dead too.
You all have such vivid imaginations. You know that?
Imaginations.
You claim that I was lying when I told you about the suspicious person I saw. Then what about the picture I took?
Bro, no one gives a damn about the picture.
How do you explain
No
this
one
picture
cares
of
about the
costumed
picture.
Villain dragging Hifumi away?
It has to be some kind of setup, right? So let's put the suit on. And then she used the camera's timer to
Hero,
set
stop
up
talking.
the picture.
Stop talking.
You
Make yourself work.
forgotten. You are the only one who could have possibly fit into that suit. Plus, I happen to know that this particular camera does not have a timer.
I know that, because trust me, when I took the picture of it, it wasn't. When I
In
took the
other
picture
words,
after
it is an
Hifumi set up the
unassailable fact
weird
that
picture,
this
I
is
totally
a
know.
picture of Hifumi being dragged away. If everything I told you was a lie, how can
Can I
this
get a
picture
turn to say
exist?
something like I know the answer? Can I
Are
go?
we sure that's really a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away?
What could you possibly mean by that?
Surely there are other explanations than the one you've offered up.
No, there is no other explanation.
I got one. Other explanations. It wasn't a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away. The possibility is Hifumi is dragging. The Hifumi and suspect have been drinking. They got real crunk last night, and they're doing their dancing.
I got it! It's not a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away. I would say it's a picture of Hifumi dragging the suspect away.
That's certainly within the realm of possibility. The one being dragged off in that picture isn't Hifumi, but the person in the robot suit. We've simply been led to believe that it's the other way around. And the strange costume might only exist to lead us astray even farther. If you saw someone wearing something like that in this situation, of course you'd notice and be suspicious.
That's what happened! You put me to sleep and made me out to be the bad guy in all this!
Such a thing is utterly impossible. Hifumi was dragging him away? Ridiculous.
Is it? I don't think it's ridiculous at all.
Then shut your mouth and allow me to educate you.
Thus thinks she can prove that there's no way Hifumi is dragging the suspect away. Is that really possible? I don't think so. Yeah, Celeste isn't really doing that much of like a rebuttal. Her rebuttals are, I don't know, you're dumb. Let me talk. That's all her rebuttals are. She isn't really saying anything.
That suit after I passed out.
Then
you just dragged me across the room and had him carry my
Maybe the
weight.
costume? I don't know.
You tried to make me
The other
look
two
like the bad
bullets
guy.
don't seem helpful.
Like I said, ridiculous. As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright. If the person inside the suit was unconscious, there's no way they could stand up straight.
We talked about this like 40 minutes ago. About how you really cannot bend over in the suit.
No. Even if the person inside the suit were unconscious, they could still stand up like that because that Robo Justice suit had a certain characteristic.
And I'll say it after this flashback real quick.
That's right! They totally made a mistake when they made it, so it couldn't bend at the waist.
I'm not so sure that was a mistake. I think the suit was designed from the beginning to be used the way it was.
Celeste and Hifumi took the suit they'd specially designed and stuffed Hiro into it. That's how they were able to fake that whole thing. The point of it all was to make us believe whoever was in the suit was to blame.
Well then, I suppose this is checkmate.
Checkmate?
Don't make me laugh, you idiot! What do you mean, checkmate?
Celeste?
Clearly,
your little guilty box. Well, there's one little problem. Have you already forgotten what Hifumi told us as he lay dying?
Once again, maybe he was still on your side and really wanted us to think it was Hiro. I'm just saying, you're still working together. It doesn't actually... Because here's the thing, if Hifumi didn't see Celeste killed, like maybe Celeste like snuck up behind him and hit him on the head. So maybe he never even saw Celeste kill him. Maybe he thought Hiro attacked him because that's, I don't know, who they're blaming.
When we asked him who had attacked him, his answer was quite clear, was it not? He said, and I quote, Yasuhiro.
In other words, Yasuhiro Hakakure!
Wait, but my name isn't really Yasuhiro. It's actually Taro.
Your confusing statements don't make any sense. You're only making things more complicated.
He did say Yasuhiro. But are we sure he was really pointing the finger at Hiro?
What the hell are you talking about? I'll burn you alive!
Kyoko, what do you mean by that?
Think back to how Hifumi used to talk to us. How did he refer to each of us?
Oh wait, yeah. Whenever he talks to someone, he first... Oh, I didn't even notice that. Yeah, if whenever he talks to somebody, he refers them by their last name. Is Celeste, is Celeste's last name Yasuhiro the whole time? And then she... Actually, yeah, we never... Technically, we don't know if Celeste is actually her name. So technically, her actual last name could be Yasuhiro.
He called us all by our last names.
Maybe.
Exactly. I know I heard him say Mr. Naegi more than once, for example. So if Hifumi did mean to say Hiro's name, he would have said his last name, Agakure.
I'm sure it was just incidental. By chance, his first name. Indecent?
Don't talk.
Random chance. Now isn't that a convenient explanation? No. There's no reason to think he would have said the name any different than normal, but he must have run out of energy before he could say any more.
So Hifumi was trying to tell us the last name of whoever killed him?
But the name he said doesn't apply to anyone here.
Well, no. Hold on. There's one person it could apply to, and that's Celeste. She never actually told us what her real name is.
What did you just say? To think you'd take your false accusation so far, I don't know whether to laugh or spit! Come on! Enough with your idiotic blather! Yasuhiro is a loser's name! Do I look like a loser to you?
I don't know, you're losing right now.
Do I? What? I think I've earned the right to be a little on edge.
Okay, then fill us in. What's your real name?
Make sure your ear holes are wide open and listen up!
My real name is Celestia Ludenberg. Could you please stop making me repeat myself over and over again?
Celeste won't give up, so then have to do something to make her accept it. Check her handbook. You do realize we could just like we could just make her open her handbook and be like, oh, what's your name is? Yeah, e-handbook. Just get her to open her handbook.
Hifumi was trying to tell us something. He wanted us to know the killer's last name, Yasuhiro.
If there's one person here who might have that last name,
It would have to be you, Celeste. You haven't told anyone what your real name is.
How many times do I have to tell you? My name is... Celestia Ludenberg! God damn it!
How long do you plan to go on pretending?
I'm not pretending. It's the truth. And since you have no way to contradict me...
I do have a way. Yeah, just have her show us her handbook, and if she refuses to show it, then alright, we're voting her.
That's it! The handbook!
What?
Anytime you turn your handbook on, it shows the owner's name when it boots up, right? Monokuma told us all about it before.
He told us that like day one. So I know that for sure.
So all we have to do is check her handbook, and that'll clear up everything. That's how we can find out Celeste's real name.
That's an invasion of privacy. I refuse to cooperate.
Alright, so I'm just gonna vote you then.
Celeste, can you please just tell us what really happened? Please. Just tell us.
Even When I'm put in check, it's just my nature not to give up. Because until the game's over, you never know what might happen.
Fine then. Let me settle it. Let me go over the case again, from the beginning, and shed light on all your crimes. And that'll bring everything to an end.
Alright. Yay, closing argument. This is a cool part of the game. Alright. How many pages we got? How many we got? Damn, we got 10 pages. Okay, first things first. Let's go in order. We got Fumi talking with Celeste and oh yeah, they agreed to work together. And then what time was it? It was 1 in the morning. Hiro shows up. He's like, hey, what do you want? Hey, you found the way out? And they're like, nope, we're gonna drug you. And then put him in the suit. That's when Celeste got the camera, take the picture, make it look like he about to get dragged away, and then cut ahead to 6 in the morning. I don't know, maybe like 6:05, 6:10. Not 6, maybe like 6:02. And then Taka shows up, expecting somebody to like help him out of this place, you know, like find a way out, and then bam, Hifumi bonked him on the head with, that was, yeah, I think that was 4. And then we get shown the picture, and then we finally find Hifumi in the library with Justice Hammer 2. And then after we bring him to the nurse's office, we're like, alright, let me just throw blood all over the frickin' place. Which is what he did, and then I'm assuming Justice Hammer 3, he then places down there. Find the bodies at the same time, hear the one body discovery announcement. Then when we all leave, he wraps up Taka's body in the tarp, pushes it over to the repository. And he places it there, he's like, he's kind of like celebrating, he's doing like a default dance after committing the murder, and then Celeste comes in and then bonks him on the head with the basic hammer.
The killer is you! Before anything, the killer persuaded someone to help carry out the murder. And that person was... Hifumi. With an accomplice, the killer was able to execute a number of otherwise impossible schemes. First, they convinced someone to meet them in the rec room last night at 1 in the morning.
Also, why is Hiro going to meet them with them in 1 in the morning? Like, Taka, I understand 6 in the morning. That's honestly, like, a healthy time to get up, you know? Time to start your day, make breakfast and stuff like that. Why is Hiro up at 1 a.m.? And even if you get waken up by, you know, maybe I'm like ringing the doorbell and then sliding the note under your door. If this is me, I'm reading the note and then I'm going right back to bed. It's 1 in the morning. I want to get sleep. Why is this dude just casually, it's like, you know what, I don't need sleep. I'm just going to go all the way over to the rec room.
That someone they met with was Hiro. The murderous duo intended to pass Hiro off as the prime suspect. So when they met up with him, they drugged him, knocked him out, and stuffed him into the Robo-Justice suit. Next, Hifumi positioned himself to make it look like Robo-Justice was attacking him, while the killer used a digital camera to take pictures of the assault. They did all this just to create evidence that would put the suspicion on Hiro. When they were done with him, they shoved him, still unconscious, into the pool room locker. And then finally, at 6 a.m., they moved into the murder phase of their plan. They called Taka to the equipment room. And that's where Hifumi killed him, making it the scene of the first murder. The murder weapon was Justice Hammer 4, which was left there in the equipment room. The reason Hammer number 4 was used was to create confusion about the order of the crimes. So, next they falsified 2 more assault incidents. For these attacks, the killers pretended to be the victims, to solidify Robo-Justice as the suspect. The first fake incident was the attack in the rec room. There, the killers wanted us to see Justice Hammer 1, and the Robo-Justice pictures they'd taken. They wanted to make sure we bought the surprise attack story. The second fake incident was the attack in the library. This time, they planted Justice Hammer 2 and an injured Hifumi to sell us that story. With these two incidents, the killers were able to create a certain preconception in our minds that the suspect was increasing the size of the hammers and attacking people in order as they did. We fell right into their trap and started looking for the suspect based on that. While we did that, we left Hifumi alone in the nurse's office. This was exactly what Hifumi was hoping for. He took a blood packet from the refrigerator and Justice Hammer 3 and turned the room into a crime scene in which he himself had apparently been brutally murdered. He let out a scream to draw us back, and when we returned, that's what we found. Meanwhile, the other group that had been out searching found Taka's body at the same time. So when we heard the body discovery announcement, we naturally assumed it was for Hifumi. We left the nurse's office, and Hifumi once again took advantage of the situation. He simply got up and made his escape. When we learned his body had disappeared, we all rushed back to the nurse's office. And once again, Hifumi had the chance he was waiting for. He wrapped Taka's body in a tarp and used the dolly to move it all the way down to the repository. That explains how each of the bodies disappeared. But even Hifumi didn't know what the true
That's right,
killer
Hifumi really
had in
just hit
mind
like a
for their
freaking
final
default
act.
dance. He freaking killed Taka, brought him back into the repository, and it's like, oh, let me hit default dance real quick. Yo, yo, let me break it down.
Their plan all along was to kill Hifumi and get rid of the one person who could betray them. And they did it using an ordinary, everyday hammer from the repository. That should cover everything that happened in this case. And the villain behind it all is... Celeste. Sorry, you lose.
It seems like I was right. Apparently, this trial was a lot easier than I thought it was gonna be.
Lost? I lost?
Like, remember, I predicted nearly everything that happened in this trial before I even started the trial.
When was the last time I was forced to utter such words? They hang heavy around my neck.
Then you admit it? You're the killer?
Listen to you, trying to take charge, as if you're my private instructor.
I, Celestia Ludenberg.
Actually, no, Taiko Yasuhiro is fine.
Taiko?
So, you finally accepted.
I wonder why she wanted to be called Celeste. That's a freaking shitty name.
I'm the kind of person, once I've lost, I don't like things to drag on.
Interesting.
Alright, Volder, get her out of here. Eject her from the ship. Get her out. Hey, a bunch of A's. Alright, all A's. All A's. Yup. Nice, I got 102 medals I'm never gonna use. Cool.
Okay, Monokuma. I'm ready to begin. Or, no, I suppose this is the end, isn't it?
It is indeed the moment we've all been waiting for. Time to vote. Okay? Okay. If you would, please locate your lever and cast your vote. And when the votes are tallied, who will become the Blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one?
I wonder who's gonna get voted. Who could it be? Oh my god, it was Celeste. Oh my god, who would have thought? Who would have thought that she was the killer? Who would have thought? That was a big surprise. Big reveal. Oh god damn, I gotta read again. I was really enjoying the voice acting. It's a good formality at this point, but once again, you're totally correct. The Blackened this time, the true killer, devised a whole stinking scheme. But Celeste Ludenberg, or more precisely, Taiko Yasuhiro.
Honestly.
Lost. Well, that sucks. Alright, time to kill her. I guess trying to work with someone else was a mistake after all. Fumi's ineptitude is beyond all my calculations.
I knew it.
So he really did approach a Fumi with this plan. How did you get him to agree? I can't imagine he would have happily agreed to commit murder. First, she relied on her specialty, lying. Her specialty? Don't make me laugh. I didn't have to lie to get him to agree.
So then...
Did he use, you know? I knew you'd figure it out, Kyoko. Absolutely right. To get Fumi to act as my accomplice. I used her. For everyone who's still left, I'll avoid mentioning it by name, but it was the one thing Fumi and Taka are both super into. Does she mean? Talking about alter ego? I called that too! I said that she probably stole it. Hey, what? What are you talking about?
Just a second.
Don't interrupt her in the middle of a very important conversation here. We have the loop as usual. How sad.
In other words...
You're the one that stole it?
Indeed.
That's right.
I see.
Use it to drag a Fumi into the plan you'd come up with. Right again. Last night after we had our meeting about how it disappeared, I paid Fumi a little visit. What are you doing here?
Actually...
Something I could talk to you alone. That's about what was stolen. I know who did it.
What?
What?
Are you okay
It's
with
Taka.
this?
He stole it. What?
So
I have
then...
proof. Would you like to see it? It turned out I found a use for digital camera. Taken you-know-what to Taka's room earlier and took pictures of it there. How did you just casually get into Taka's room? Like, wait a minute. I deleted the picture as soon as it's shown it to Fumi, of course.
Damnation!
So it was him. How'd he do it? She was supposed to yell if either of us got close to her. You're correct. That's why Taka forced me to steal it.
Say what?
What?
As for me...
Please forgive me. He threatened me.
Oh.
He did?
As for me...
In my room last night unannounced, and it's hard for me to even say. He abused me.
What?
What? And he took pictures. He said if I didn't... You know, he abused me. As you can see, there's no marks of, like, bruises or nothing, which totally means he abused me. Which it would be easy to see, because I'm as white as a vampire. He said if I did not do as he asked, he would show them to everyone. So I had no choice.
Damnation!
It's a crime, an absolute crime. I mean, I knew he'd gone a little crazy, but never imagined he would go that far. It was amazing how completely he bought it. I can't even express how enjoyable that was. About to say something I never said before in my life. I'm going to kill him. I'm going to fucking kill him.
Most unfortunate.
Wait, please, if you go now, you'll be playing right into his hands. Huh?
Actually...
Taka's planning to use her to escape. He has made you his target.
What?
Escape, you mean? Taka's going to try to kill you. What?
Indeed.
All I can... I need to hit factory reset. Okay, wait. Okay, now we're good. Okay. And all so you can keep her to himself. That bastard! Bastard, 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 bastard!
Honestly.
Well, I'm to continue with these barbaric acts. Absolutely not. How could I? She have to save her.
Actually...
Would you like to join me? It's just what happens. I have come up with a plan. Huh? Advise a way to reclaim what he was stolen and escape this dreadful school. Well, that is complete. What are you talking about? Oh, nothing. Couldn't agree without a second thought. And the effect that item had on him was remarkable. Power of love, even though love as twisted as that, can still drive people mad, it would seem. You disgust me.
I see.
Another question for you. Was that strange costume of Fumi's creation?
Indeed.
Yeah, it was a real pain in the butt, too. All I asked him to do was make something to hide the face and general body size. I had no idea he'd made something like that, but it's my fault for picking him in the first place.
But
So why'd you decide to make me the suspect? Because you're stupid. That's it?
Let's see...
In that regard, I made the right choice. I'm so glad your stupidity surpasses my every expectation. Life must have been tough on your parents, though. I think I could cry.
What?
When you were explaining your plan to Fumi, how did you explain the part about him playing dead? What he's asking me is, what was Fumi supposed to do after that, assuming you had actually let him live?
Are you okay?
That's simple. After he did his part and pretended to be dead when someone showed up, I told him to say he'd been seriously wounded. He was on the verge of death, but he just barely held on. And you really believe that? Well, of course, that wasn't all there was to it. As I explained it to Fumi, the plan was, while you're all questioning him about what had happened to him, I was going to murder someone else. At that point, Fumi would have had an alibi, so nobody could doubt him. I told him that, and he believed it. All seems very straightforward, stereotypical. I just matched the lie to the level of the opponent. In fact, if Fumi ate it up, he believed the lie wholeheartedly, right up until the moment of his death.
So in the
He
end...
planned to kill him all along. But of course. There would have been no point to my plan if the one who pretended to be dead did not end up dead himself. What the heck? How can human life mean so little to you?
Well...
It's a non-issue. I simply did everything in my power to win.
don't be mean.
Hey, son of Byakuya.
I wonder about
No, he
that.
he derives his pleasure from the thrill of the hunt. In that aspect, we are not alike.
Why?
Then what made you take things this far? Is it really just for money? More than $10 million Mark coming off with us. That is a lot of money, it's true. That's not all there is to it. The moment our new life here began, my only thought has been escape.
But
All along you've been saying how we have to accept living here.
You
Obviously, that was a lie.
Hey,
I can't take it. I hated it from day one. More than anyone else in here.
you little.
I wanted to get out. Every day was fresh torture. You want to know why?
This is fine.
Because I had a dream. And I had a dream. Freaking. Alright, I'm not gonna feed into that joke. Accepting your life here would have meant nothing less than giving up on my dream forever.
Honestly.
There's no way that I could ever do that. In the underground world of gambling, I risked my life to make a metaphorical killing.
As for me,
It was all for that dream. And what was this dream of yours?
isn't it wonderful?
Live in a European castle. A castle? Yeah, they're handsome men from all over the world to serve as my butlers/bodyguards. It's gonna make them dress up like vampires and satisfy my every need. Once I obtained that, I would have created a perfect aesthetic world of
This
decadence.
is fine.
Moving the rest of my life, there was my only dream, my only goal. That was life is all about. That's a weird frickin' dream. Weird dream, alright. I wanted my own winnings. One outcome was $10 million would have made that dream a reality. I got right to the edge, but
There is nothing to be
fortunately my
done.
dream had been scared to the wind. So I don't have any regrets. I pursued my dream to the very end, so why would I?
Just the
I'm
worst.
so passionate, but you were really able to kill your own friends for it?
Oh,
Asking me to feel guilty? That's a pointless endeavor. I think nothing of sacrificing others for my own ends. I feel nothing.
do you understand?
All there is to me. That's what makes me complete. Isn't it terrifying how different our values are? There's simply no room for understanding.
What is this?
You should be saying, and plus, how can you be so calm? Do you realize you're about to die? Why aren't you scared? The ability to lie is unrivaled, and I take pride in that. It's not just other people, I can even fool my own emotions. The conscious deceives the unconscious. That's why you're not scared?
Yes,
That's
indeed.
right, I don't fear death. Kill me however you like. You know, if I could be reincarnated, if I had a choice then.
Isn't it
I
wonderful?
think I'd like to come back as Marie Antoinette.
Hey,
Just get executed again. So I smiled again. And when she did, it looked to me like a poor effort to force it. She claimed she would fool her own feelings. That statement itself must have been her final lie. And that weak fake smile is what betrayed her. You all done? Okay, let's get rolling. The black and disturbed the peace and must pay the price.
Now then, I prepared a very special punishment.
For her, the ultimate gambler.
Let's give it everything we've got. It's punishment time.
I guess I'll let Kyoko hold on to this. What?
This is...
Will it really give you the hope you're looking for? I can't say I ever saw it that way. Which is why, actually, it's not important. Well then, take care, everyone. Perhaps we'll meet again. In another life.
Probably not. I think I'd much rather never see you ever again. Yay! Someone finally about to get executed. Celeste's been found guilty. Time for the punishment. It's been a while since last execution. What's gonna happen? She can get turned to butter? Get poked by a bunch of baseballs? What's about to happen? Hey, your dream came true. You got the castle you wanted. You got your castle. I'm just saying, that's technically your dream came true. They're burning. Oh, she's getting burned to death. Hey, you got the castle you wanted. You just might not be alive to actually live in it, but hey, at least you got it. It's something. It's close enough. That seems kind of messed up. Like, yeah, this seems a little bit messed up. I do know that, like, Leon was pelted by a bunch of baseballs and Mondo's turned to butter. But this is like a really slow death. This is a little too far. She also really looks like she just does not care. It's like, I like it here. I like it when nice and hot temperature. Alright, don't worry, got the fire department. Come in to help. You're gonna help out the fire, you're gonna be saved. Never mind the running you over. Sorry, you're running you over instead. Also, what was the point of that? You set everything on fire to burn her, just so you run her over with a fire truck. At least we got the fire out. Alright, that was something. It's over. Third execution is over. Celeste's death is over. Celeste killed my friend, so I can't pity her, but I also can't deny that at one point I considered her a friend too. I didn't really. And and for him to just come along and... Isn't this awful? Someone can cut free of their regrets from the outside world, and so more people had to die. You guys are still young, you need to place more value on your lives.
What are you gonna
Jeez,
do?
man, I thought you guys were gonna pass the torch of hope to the next generation. I care about hope, I'll throw it away in the, I'll throw it in the trash if it just let me out of here.
Too bad.
You're not an embodiment of hope, whether you like it or not. It's my destiny to knock you down one by one. It's sad, yes it is, but that reality just can't be avoided. Just don't talk like you're not reasonable. How long are you gonna make us keep going through this? What do you want from us? God, I'm so sick of people asking me that. Give it a rest already. So anyway, Kyoko, you got some kind of key type object from Celeste?
Hey, hey.
Let's deal with that.
What?
Now what's the matter?
So then,
Answer your question if you answer mine.
you...
What did you do? What did you do to me?
Who?
What?
Hey,
Answer me, what do you do to my body? Now hold up, where are we going with this?
How
Oh man, oh geez, what do you mean, what did I do? I have no idea. I don't know anything about it. What was that just now? Transferring to something to Kyoko's body. What does that mean? Okay, things are getting kind of awkward. I think it's about time I get out of here.
Well,
Meanwhile, you guys can go on and enjoy your school life. If you get lonely, give me a shout. Not that I'll do anything about it, of course.
see ya.
See ya! Monokuma disappeared, leaving us all depressed and in despair. Although it wasn't all despair. There was one small hope. Kyoko, Monokuma already mentioned it, but what's that key that Celeste gave you?
so...
Most likely, it's the key to one of the dressing room lockers.
Huh?
What that means? So it's probably hidden there.
Hey,
Suppose sometimes it's easiest to miss what's right beneath your nose. Well then, we better go check.
Indeed.
Good idea. We left the courtroom and rushed to the dressing room. As we approached the dressing room, Kyoko looked back at us and said,
Hey,
"We're going to go on alone from here. Everyone else head to the dining hall. I'll check in with you later."
What?
Why exactly are you going alone?
so...
You didn't have to ask. She spoke. She glanced quickly at the surveillance camera.
Come on.
That's not what I mean. Why you? So the risk of a spy, you know. Now I'll go too.
What?
You? Please, just let me go. What's the problem with it? Staying here arguing is just going to draw more attention to us.
Goodbye.
Do whatever you want. Thank you, Byaku.
well then.
It's up to you now.
Yo,
We're gonna go to the dining hall, okay? So Makoto and Kyoko are going together? I mean what I think it means.
Okay.
Heck, Makoto, girls like her are total pushovers when you show a little backbone. But I forget what Hina said. Everyone headed to the dining hall, leaving me and Kyoko there alone.
Shall we go?
Well, shall we? Yeah.
So then...
Need to get into that locker. Took the key Celeste had given her and locked the locker. And as the locker swung open, we saw... Good morning. It's been a while, hasn't it? Safe, thank goodness. I heard Kyoko sound so relieved. It was like she was speaking from the bottom of her heart. I did just what Celeste asked. I didn't say a word. I stayed quiet the entire time. Oh, and I think I might be able to open the last set of files soon. Maybe as early as tomorrow. I'm doing my best, so please wait just a while longer. I can officially say the case is closed. As far as this incident is concerned, sure, but... Can we take a second since we have the opportunity? I want you to be honest with me. Kyoko, please tell me, what were you trying to do on your own here at the school? Why do you want to come here with me?
However...
Regardless, it's not something you need to know right now. I don't need to know. It makes me even more worried.
What?
Worried? What happened during the investigation this time? You disappeared and we didn't see you again. Without warning, without explanation. When you do that...
Indeed.
So natural that they think I'm the mastermind spy, right? And you too. No! I believe in you.
What?
Believe in me? It's not obvious people believe in their friends, right? That's why I want you to tell me. I want you to believe in me too. Because we're friends. I understand.
It's true.
Maybe I can believe in you. Just a little bit more. Then...
That's fine.
Fine, I'll tell you. I'll tell you why I've been disappearing and where I've been going. You see... What I heard from Kyoko then was... Well, frankly, it kind of blew my mind. After I told Kyoko I believe in her, she told me a story that was, well, almost unbelievable. I decided I had to confirm what she told me with my own 2 eyes. I waited for nighttime to come. And when it did, I went into action.
Correct.
The boys' bathroom on the 2nd floor doesn't have a surveillance camera or monitor in it. In the storage closet there, way in the back. She said it was way in the back of the boys' bathroom storage closet, but could Kyoko really be right about this? First off, why the hell is Kyoko just wandering into the boys' bathroom? What are you doing? Do you not care about frickin' privacy? That's a normal storage closet as far as I can tell. Secret Kyoko told me about. Could it really be hidden here? Okay, I can click here. It said it was way in the back of the storage closet. But I mean, seriously? Without thinking, I placed my hand in the back of the storage closet, and suddenly, as if I were being yanked. I got some secrets? Same time as I heard that sound, I fell through the wall. I had no idea what was going on. I'd fallen through the back of the storage closet. Huh? Turned out, back wall was like a revolving door and I'd made my way to the other side. It's like Kyoko had said.
Correct.
But back on the second floor. Remember when she, just like how Kyoko said, remember when she just said it? Like a couple seconds ago? This is a secret room. What's in here? Damn, there's a lot of look. Wow, there's really not much to look at. How are the files? A bunch of files, and it looks like volume after volume of yearbooks. They're all covered in dust. Looking at everything, one file at the edge of the bookshelf caught my eye. Overspeak Academy student registry? The only thing in here not covered in dust. Someone been looking at it recently? I slipped the file into my hand. Before I had a chance to take a look at it, so the paper fell out of the file and I turned my attention to it. What's this? You must not leave. That's kind of weird. I understand if it said, like, I can't leave, but you must not leave? What is this? My head feels funny. Strange sensation. It's like deja vu. Those words, you must not leave. I've seen them somewhere before, but I can't quite remember. What do I know? What don't I know? Who is you? I think I just got hit in the... A strange sound rang out in my head. It feels like I was shaking my brain back and forth, and then darkness. I don't understand what happened. Did I just get killed? Am I dead? Did I just get bodied? I don't know what started it. It's all over. And with that, I opened my eyes. I didn't know how long it had been. Okay, I'm not dead. But I definitely got attacked. Ow. Probably something hit me and I lost conscious. That's all I understood. Dull throbbing pain in my head proved that much, at least. Everything's gone. How long was I out for? An empty bookshelf. Not empty. Gone. It's all gone. Yearbooks, the student registry, and even the note that had fallen on the floor. It's all gone? What does this mean? My brain refused to do any more work. The insistent pain in my head began to spread across the rest of my body. For now, I should go back to my room, get some rest. Smart. Get a bunch of hours of sleep in the next day. My body was heavy with pain, my mind heavy with thoughts. My mind was heavy, my palms are sweaty, my mind weak, arms are heavy. I dragged myself back toward my room. Somehow I made it back to the first floor of the school. The farther I walked, the more I felt. Things are getting blurry, I can't see in front of me. I couldn't stop myself from collapsing right there. After that. Huh? From a vast distance I heard a sound. It was faint, but undeniable. Sound. Coming from the gym? As I desperately hauled my shaky frame towards the gym, the sound got stronger and stronger. We got a Gangunk Bagya! Who is making the Gangunk Bagya this late at night? What's going on? Nothing. You're in the gym? Who is making this type of noise? I need to get sleep! I didn't make a sound as I opened the door to the gym. The sound coming from inside me only intensified that much more. Kachabaku! Hagagia hiya paching. Bakia dadadun shashashasha. Oh! The fight? Why is Sakura fight Makama? For me, they're ready to battle beyond anything humanely possible. No, one side's not human, that's for sure, but regardless, I couldn't stop staring. I have to move, or even breathe.
Why, you? What do you think you're doing? I asked you a question. What's the meaning of this? How dare you defy me? This wasn't part of the deal!
Deal?
I've made a decision. I will no longer retreat. No longer compromise. No longer regret. I've made my decision. I'm going to resist you.
Okay, but
Alright.
you do realize what will happen if you go through with this, right? You haven't forgotten, have you? What I'm holding hostage?
What am I looking at? What am I hearing? Hostage? Could it be? The mastermind spy is... Oh my god, big cliffhanger! Crazy! Whoa! Okay, so Sakura's the spy, alright. But also, she hasn't really done anything to... Also, you said hostage. Okay, there's a lot to take in there. A bunch of stuff to take in there. Oh, I got the Super Robo Justice! Awesome! Now if I want to commit a murder, I can use the same suit! Nice. Well, anyways, I think I'm going to leave this episode of Danganronpa here. We finally got done with Chapter 3 after all of this time. So finally, in the next episode, we can actually begin a new chapter. So, and also like I said, I'm probably going to be posting this game a lot more because I want to beat this game as soon as possible because I don't want to take much longer to beat it. So that's why these videos went from being like 30 minutes to being an hour and a half. That's kind of why. But anyways, I hope you guys still enjoyed this video. If you guys did, make sure you leave a like button down below. Also, make sure you hit the subscribe button as well. Keep in mind, it is totally free. You can unsubscribe anytime. And it'll help me get to 600 subscribers before the end of the year. And as always, I hope you guys did enjoy, and I will see you all in the next episode.